Hey, this is Stacy from Let's Cook, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We hope you'll enjoy the content on our channel and you'll consider hitting that red subscribe button. We're back with a brand new week, jam-packed, full of easy and delicious meals. We've got some old favorites, some new things we've tried for you guys, and we had last weekend crammed with 2 birthday parties in our family that we wanted to share with you guys. We hope you enjoy all the food and fellowship in this week's video. Today I'm going to make a quick Mexican casserole. I haven't made this, I think I've got 2004 on my notes the last time I made this, so we're pulling another one out to show you guys. We're going to boil some macaroni, 1 cup uncooked. I'm also going to brown some ground beef with some chopped onions, and then you would layer a can of enchilada sauce. I did make my own because I don't have a can in the pantry. Some chili beans, use the hot if you like spicy, some cheese and seasonings, and then the recipe actually calls for baking it and then putting, I think, the corn chips and the cheese on the top. I like to mix some in, and then we also top it. So let me show you how we put this together. A quick Mexican casserole to bake in the oven. You can skip this step if you have a can of enchilada sauce. I'm going to make a different one than I tried before. This is 1 large can of tomato sauce. You would add green chilies, which I don't like, so I left them out. Some onion, some chili powder, some cumin, and oregano. We're going to cook this about 5 minutes and then use it in the recipe. Oh, and some garlic. Pinch of sugar, since I'm using canned tomato sauce. And I added a little bit more chili powder, since I left out the enchilada, left out the green chilies. So if you're having a less than stellar day, this is a good recipe. You get to put the corn chips in a Ziploc bag and beat on them a little bit. Brown the meat, drain the grease, and then we'll start combining everything. I probably should have gotten a bigger skillet. We'll see if we can get it all in here. Three teaspoons or a tablespoon of some more chili powder. The can of enchilada sauce, or I'm going to start with about 3/4 of this. Let's see how much I can get in this skillet. Half a teaspoon of salt and some pepper. I'm going to add a little bit more of the enchilada sauce, and then we actually like this casserole better when you mix in some of the cheese and the crushed corn chips into the mixture, and then I'll save more, or actually I end up using a little extra to put on top. We will bake this casserole at 350 for about 25 minutes, and then the original recipe says to top it with the cheese and the crushed Fritos. Like I said, we like to mix some of it in. I will probably add a little more, but we'll do 25 minutes in the oven, put some cheese and Fritos on the top, and put it back for about 5. In 30 minutes, we should have dinner. I offered to fix a salad. I was going to do a salad with some Mexican ranch on the side so that we wouldn't just be carb loading and eating really bad. Tim said, I'm good with casserole, so rather than making myself extra work, we're having the casserole. That's what's for dinner tonight. found this next recipe on the Food Network Kitchen app that I got last year in April at the beginning of the pandemic. I've made it once. It was delicious, and I have been dreaming about making it ever since and using up some pantry ingredients. I've got my ingredients out and assembled. I'm fixing to start chopping and making the puree and getting the flatbreads going. I thought I was going to do what I did before, which is make up the tuna olive mixture and save part for me, and put roasted red bell peppers and green olives in the other part for Tim. But he told me he's not feeling these today, so the whole thing is going to be mine. I will not add those two ingredients. What I will use is cannellini beans, black olives, Kalamata olives, some sun-dried tomatoes, some tuna, and some seasonings and vinegar, and mix up the paste in my food processor, and then top the flatbreads. I'm not real sure why I only like black olives. I still don't like the green ones. I'm actually new to the whole olive game. I only started eating black olives a few years ago. And I wonder if they come cut, because I did see some sliced Kalamata olives the last time I was in my Kroger. But I will say, for this recipe, I've only ever used a better quality of tuna. This is a Chicken of the Sea brand Wild Catch Premium Albacore tuna, and it is in big chunks. So once I add the olive oil and all the seasonings and start to mix it up, I do break it up a little, but I like a lot of the chunks left for the topping that goes on top of the bean puree that we're going to mix up in the food processor. And I do like to stick a fork or spoon in it and taste it, and I decided that it needed a little bit of everything, so I added some more sun-dried tomatoes, a little bit more olive oil, some red chili flakes, a little bit more salt, a little more garlic powder. That's the beauty of cooking. You make it to fit your taste. Since I thought that I was making all of this for me, I made it for my taste and left out the green olives and the roasted bell peppers, but stick around, see what happens. To the rinsed cannellini beans, I'm going to add some sun-dried tomatoes. It said about 4. Mine are already sliced, so I'm just going to eyeball it. More flavor is better. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 1 tablespoon of vinegar. This is 2 tablespoons of water. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder, granulated garlic. And a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to very lightly oil a flatbread. You can use pita. These are some naan I had in the freezer. Last time I added a little much oil and they got a little wet. And we're going to put them on a hot griddle till they're hot and charred on that side, a minute or 2. This is the base for the flatbreads. Once the flatbreads are toasted, this meal comes together really quick. I split the bean puree mixture, so I used about half of it, and made a nice thick luscious base on the warm flatbread. It kind of melts in it because it's warm off the griddle. And then take the tuna olive mixture and put about half of it on there. So this is enough for 2 full flatbreads, or for 1 for me and a full leftover for me the next day. Tim is happy with his meat, and I am over the moon excited about my dinner. Tuna olive flatbreads is what's for dinner today, and I am going to probably eat the whole thing. I should have made a salad, but I just wasn't feeling it. If I'm still hungry, I've got some fruit, but this thing is delicious, amazing, and full of flavor, and will likely fill me up. Tuna olive flatbreads. And I raved about mine so much, Tim has decided he wants the other flatbread. So I'll add the green olives and the roasted red bell peppers to his tuna olive mixture. I should have known better. You probably figured it out from all the hints I was dropping. Tim saw me eating it and said, "That looks better than mine." So I took the other half and mixed it up for him. There was no leftovers for me for the next day for lunch, so I was very sad about that. But I was very happy to share with him. And Tim's is loaded with roasted red bell peppers and green olives, which I will not touch with a 10-foot pole. Bon appetit! Today I wanted to do another pantry meal, and I'm trying not to create as many leftovers and do a better job of what I call small batch cooking, or cooking for two. So I defrosted one chicken breast. I seasoned it simply with salt, pepper, and two kinds of Mrs. Dash, a garlic herb and a chicken. And sorry, I forgot to mention, this is a Tuscan chicken pasta, which I've made before in the Instant Pot, but it made a lot for the two of us, so I'm trying to cut it in half and make it on the stovetop, but I will leave a link to the original recipe. I've got my little small non-stick skillet in the back, and I put it in a little olive oil to start cooking it, flipped it over and seasoned it on both sides. In the meantime, I needed some pasta, so I got out my scale and weighed out 4 ounces from this big box at Kroger. Preheated my oven and got these sweet Hawaiian Grand's biscuits ready to go. And I had a cameraman helping me out. The water comes to a boil, then I always add the salt afterwards, and then the pasta. The nice thing about using the Instant Pot is it uses a lot less dishes. So I need another one for the sauce. And yes, another pot that I will wash, but I wanted to steam some fresh broccoli that I had on hand. Notice a few went over the back, but I got those. I got my sauce skillet out and got it ready since the chicken and the pasta were already cooked. I did use butter rather than olive oil, and then since I'm cutting it in half, I took a half a package of cream cheese and broke it up and then started melting it with the butter to make the base for the sauce. The original recipe calls for milk. I had some half and half open in my refrigerator I wanted to use. That was half and half and not milk, so I may need a little milk also. I apologize, the volume is low in parts because Tim was on a conference call while I was cooking and trying to talk on camera. The sauce has come together really nicely, so now it's time to add the seasonings. The original recipe only calls for garlic, salt, and black pepper, but I repeated pretty much everything I used to season the chicken with. I did add some white pepper. I like it better in white sauces, but I put both because I've always been told that white pepper and black pepper hit different parts of your tongue. I added a little bit more milk to thin it out. Now we're back on track with the original recipe with a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese that we melt and incorporate into the sauce. Then we add some sun-dried tomatoes. I'm trying to use up the rest of this jar from opening to make the tuna olive flatbreads. And as much as I love my Instant Pot, this is why I prefer stovetop or air fryer or oven cooking, because I can taste and adjust. I tasted it, thought the sauce needed a little more. You can add more seasonings in the Instant Pot, and I usually over season, but it's easier to taste it because it's not sealed up under pressure. Then we're going to wilt in some baby spinach, and I probably didn't use as much as the recipe called for because I don't think the leftovers heat up as well with the spinach, so I went a little light on the spinach. Now it's time to add in the drained pasta. The original recipe, I believe, called for cavatappi, which I didn't have, so I just substituted elbows, and pretty much any short pasta would work, and then add in the cooked chicken. And I think grilled chicken would be delicious in this, but it was too cold to grill outside. Rather than getting out the Instant Pot and making twice this much, I decided to try the stovetop version and made half of the Tuscan chicken pasta. It does mess up a little more dishes than the Instant Pot, but it's a much more manageable size for the two of us. I steamed the broccoli I had in my produce drawer and cooked the sweet Hawaiian Grand's biscuits we have yet to try. I actually had another recipe in mind for these, but I just wasn't feeling it today. This one is tried and true. So we will have Tuscan chicken pasta with broccoli and biscuits for dinner today. If you watch regularly on our channel, you already know Tim does not really like rice. He loves russet potatoes. He doesn't really like sweet potatoes. But I had 2 I wanted to use, so I cut them 2 ways. One I made in thick chunks for me. The other I sliced into really thin slices for him. I'm going to cook these in 2 batches in my air fryer. I started off with mine, seasoning them with olive oil, salt, pepper, a little bit of Italian, and just a dash of crushed red chili flake. I tossed them around. I needed a little bit more oil. Put them in my air fryer. Started them out about 20 minutes at 400, but I did check them at 10.
For my loaded sweet potato fries, I needed some ranch. I don't keep ranch salad dressing in the house. I make my own from my mix. I did have Greek yogurt this time to mix in with a little bit of mayonnaise and a little bit of milk to thin it out. Although this I like really thick, so it was a pretty thick consistency.
I checked them and tossed them around. They are not going to take another 8 minutes. It's just one potato and not two, so I'm going to go down to 2 and then work on the chips.
As I said, Tim will eat sweet potatoes if they're really thin, like a traditional potato chip. Obviously, you can do these in the oven. You don't have to have an air fryer, but it's just easier for me. They cook a little bit quicker.
Round 2. His are sliced thinner, but they may take the same amount of time. I'm going to check them at 12.
I had already taken Tim's little egg skillet and crisped up some bacon bits for me. Then I got a fried egg going. I cut an avocado in half. It was perfect on the inside. Always makes me really happy. We've shown these before. This is one of my favorite things. This is some loaded sweet potato fries with diced avocado, those crispy bacon bits, and some of my homemade ranch topped off with that fried egg. If you notice, yeah, I broke it, but they're still delicious. This is very filling for me and one of my favorite things. So I didn't apparently get it on camera, but I put in one of these spicy chicken fillets out of a big bag from Sam's Club in with Tim's sweet potato fries, made him a sandwich with his pepper jack cheese, and these were nice and crispy, and this made him very happy.
Poor Tim. He didn't want my loaded sweet potato fries with avocado, ranch, and fried egg and bacon, so he got sweet potato chips and one of his Sam's Club members Mark's spicy chicken fillets in the air fryer. Didn't have any buns, so just on bread. That's his dinner today.
I didn't have a chance to include these last Sunday. We had 2 birthday parties in our family, the same side. First was our niece Abby, turned 16. They had a lovely assortment of food, some cheese sticks, brisket, meat and cheese tray to make sandwiches, lots of chips and dip, a cake, and some cupcakes.
Abby, this is for you. It's your birthday. How old are you?
16.
And what's your favorite food?
Rotel.
Where's the rotel?
It's not here.
Oh no! All this food and they don't have your favorite on your birthday?
Well, we were gonna cook it, and then we ran out of time. But
Okay, well everything looks good. Happy birthday, Abby.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to you, sweet 16! Happy birthday, dear Abby! Happy birthday to you! And many more. Oh wow! This reminds me of her first birthday party. Don't smoke.
And on Sunday, we saw the exact same family members, just at a different house, my niece's house. We had to miss her son Hunter's 3rd birthday party, but we didn't want to miss Allie's first. They are having 3 separate parties to keep everybody separate and keep them all safe. They had some really good food, and we were glad to see everybody again.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Allie. Happy birthday to you. Good. She's posing. Mama, show her how to do it. Jump in there. Mama, jump in there with her. Oh, Mama, get some too.
Is she hungry?
Go ahead.
Oh no.
We were so very blessed to be able to celebrate both girls' birthdays. Abby is a beautiful young lady at her sweet 16, and Allie, we haven't had a chance to see her much in her first year because of COVID, but she is a sweet girl, and we look forward to watching her grow. Got one more blooper for you.
And the This is not my day, apparently.
Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Have a wonderful and truly blessed day.